Hi, in this video I'm going to talk you through the latest changes to the Form and Quiz Maker add-on. There's quite a few because Google have released some changes with the API. So this allows you to take information in documents or information in PDFs that you convert into documents and then upload them and convert them into a Google form. So previously you couldn't, you could do that, but you couldn't set the correct answer for short text questions. You can do that now, so they can be automatically marked. You also couldn't upload images, so now you can do that. So you can get images for questions, and you can also get upload images for answer options in multiple choice and checkbox questions. You can also set different point values for different questions. So previously it was just a default points value for every question in the form. This allows you to then select questions where that would be different. You can also set feedback text for text questions so that however they respond, you can give them some feedback. And if it's a multiple choice or a checkbox or a drop-down list question, you can get into a bit more detail, so you can set feedback for the correct answers and feedback for incorrect answers. So you can upload all those from a document. So it just makes the whole process of making a quiz in Forms so much quicker and easier. So that's what I'll show you over the next few minutes. On screen, you can see a simple general knowledge quiz, 10 questions. So you can turn that into a form very easily. If you go to add-ons and go to Form and Quiz Maker and open that sidebar. So the first thing you've got to do in Form and Quiz Maker is to flag up the questions and the text generally to tell it how to turn it into a form. So because these are all short text questions, so on the setup, I'm just going to choose all short text, and it will spin and it will put the relevant markups on it. So it's saying this is a title, this is a short text question, they're all short text questions. And then I can go to create form and I can set these to however I want them and create the form. So this will spin while it's doing it. It'll take about a minute to do it for these. So view the rules, you've got to leave a space before every question, so a line, an empty line. And if you've got multiple choice questions, they can't come with a space before them. So that's created the form. So it did that quite quickly. But that's okay, but it's not very helpful, because ideally you want to make this a quiz that can mark itself. And on this version of the quiz, it's the same quiz, same questions. I've added some the correct answer on the next line down, and I've added some feedback on the next line down. If I go to Form Quiz Maker again, and if I go to the document setup and choose all short text, again it's going to spin and it will set these up. And it's set up to identify the second line in as the correct answer and the third line in as the feedback for text questions. So as long as you follow that format, it will do that. And I'm just going to create that. So let's create form. So when it finishes creating it, it'll put a link down here to the editable version of the form and the live version of the form. But just while it's doing it, just to explain a couple of things, this correct answer here, I've allowed them the correct answer seaweed, excuse me, and then I put a semicolon in and gave them a second option as well, seaweed. It's not correct, but it's what kids might do, and I don't want to penalise them for leaving that space. And same here, accepting caterpillar and caterpillars. And is there anything else on here? On here, where it's a number question, I'm allowing the number as a new number or as text. So if I can look at this, so this is a form. It's exactly the same as the old one, except if you go into it and go to the answer options, you can see it takes all the versions of the answers I gave it, and it also holds them as upper text, so all capitals, all lowercase, and title case, and it'll do that for each option that you put in, and it's shown the feedback text there as well. And this one was a number, so it's accepting 14 as in numbers, and the text 14, 14, and 14 in lowercase, uppercase, and title case. So that's that, and then this is another version of the same quiz, but this time I've added images. So I can get Form and Quiz Maker, open the sidebar. And this one, because it's got images, I need to, it won't do this bit automatically. So I'm going to mark up these images as question images. So there's various markups you can apply. That's a question image. So it'll put that text in front of it. When you highlight the image, just be careful you don't select it, or otherwise it will disappear. So I'm just selecting and then using the left arrow to go back. So that's question image. You can also use URLs instead of images if you want, and then you just need to use the question image URL or the option image URL appropriately. And so let's go question image. And then I can use the all short text option to mark up everything else as appropriately. And then if I go and create the form, it will run through. It takes a little bit longer because it's got to take these images. What it does with them is to take them from your document, create a file in your drive in a folder it creates, creates them there on your drive, and then links to those when it's creating the form. And after it's created the form, you can delete the images and delete that subfolder. But it is a bit longer making a quiz with the images, but it's finished now. There's the quiz in forms. The image size restores it to whatever you placed in there in the first place. So when I put that in, I reduced it in size to fit on the document, but it just resets it to its normal size. So you just have to be aware of that when you're doing when creating the form. This then, the main alternative, the main other thing that people set questions as multiple choice. So this is a set of 8 multiple choice questions. So again, you need to go through and set up the questions. These are all multiple choice questions, so I'm going to use that, and it goes through and flags them up. It can't identify which is the correct answer, so you need to go through and do that. So if I go there, there's the correct answer link. You can click that on there. You can also use this to specify the correct answer or the other options as well. So let's go and do that, show you how that works. That's correct. And then once you've got that set, you can just click the button there. It's up to you whichever way you want to do it. if that's, I've highlighted two spaces in the document, so it's the cursor isn't in a single space. So if you see that it says can't find the cursor, it's because I've got space highlighted. So if you just get it to a single flashing cursor and do that again, that will work. The other thing I haven't shown you yet is if you want some of these questions to be worth more than your standard number of points for these questions. So when I create the form, I can specify how many the default value for the points for the quiz. But if you want some to be worth more, you can put in here. Let's say I want that to be 2. Go back to the document setup and question points. So this question about earthquakes and the Richter scale, we'll see that. Have a look at that in a second. So let's go create the form. So if you have a look at this, the answer value is 2 points on this. If that was the one I set to be 2 points and everything else is just 1 point. So it's flagged up the correct answer in each case and it's set the points and away you go. So that's setting multiple choice quizzes, and you can also set, if you've got multiple options, you can set them as checkboxes or drop-down list questions. It's up to you. If it's a text question, you can set them as short text or paragraph text. If you're using paragraph text questions, you can't set a correct answer for it. That's a Google limitation. Right. So then, if we come back to the multiple choice, this is the same quiz, but as well as the correct answer, I'm going to give them some feedback. And feedback with multiple choice and checkbox questions and drop-down list questions, you can specify the feedback for correct answers and feedback for incorrect answers. So I'll show you that as well. I'm going to pause for a second while I mark up everything, and then I'll do the first bit first. If I make these all multiple choice, so it does that quite quickly, and then I'm going to pause it while I set up everything else. So I've flagged up the correct answers, and now I just want to identify these as the feedback for correct and incorrect answers. So you can set them from here. Or you can set them using this. Oops. I'm just going to set up all the correct ones first. You can also, if you so wish, just highlight it, Control C to copy, and Control V to paste it in as well. This one I want feedback for wrong. So when all that's set up, I can go and choose the create form option and create form, and it will take about another minute to do that. So it puts the link in here again. So if you take a look through this, if you select the question, select the answer key, so it's marked France as correct, it's given them some feedback if they say France, and it's given them some feedback if they don't say France. And I included in a link to the Britannica site that gives them some information there. They can follow that when they get their feedback to find out some more about it. So that's that bit. And then I wanted to talk you through using images as question to add them to the question. So this one is a question about a quiz about flags. I've already set it up with the questions. Just going to take that out. To add the image as a question image, we go into document setup and choose, so put the cursor in front of the image and choose question image. And we'll do that for this one as well. So if you manage to select the whole image and it puts these links around it to show you've got it, just back arrow with it, over left arrow, and then select that. And then this one is a question asking with 4 option images. So I'm going to use this option. This is also the correct one, so I'm going to add the correct flagger to it as well. So those are all set up. So I can just go to create form. So that's put the link down at the bottom. It took a little bit longer than the other forms I've shown you because it's had to create copies of all these images, but it has worked. And that last question worked properly, and it's marked that as correct. And then finally, the last one I want to show you is this. This is a quiz I set up about US presidents. So it's got a mix of a multiple choice question that's got an option, some option images in, a short text question, with a cat question image, and the correct answers, or correct answers I'm going to allow. It's got a question image, right and wrong feedback, so that's a multiple choice question. This is a short text question. And then this was the other one I wanted to show you. So as well as images, or instead of images, you can use URLs to the image that's held somewhere in the internet. You can do that for option images or for question images. And when you want to create the form, just going to create that form. And then when it's created the form, there's the link to it. There's the images taken from the URL links. Don't think I've shown you the published form in any of these. And this is what the published form looks like, and I've and set this up to shuffle the questions. So that's it. I think that's everything I need to show you. I hope you find it useful. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.